Hello traders, gold gave a total number of 1,350 pips this week. In fact, that's the lowest number of pips we've gotten this year. The last time we got this kind of number was the fourth week in February. We had like 4,000, we had around 1,860 pips. And what we saw the next week was which was the first week in March, was around 4,240 pips. I'm going to show you all this on the chart, but I was just not really impressed with what gold did because I expected more from gold this week. So getting a total number of 1,350 pips means that there was going to be a lot of consolidation, which was what we saw prominently on Friday. So let's quickly go into what I'm talking about. But before I go to the table, we can see from the weekly forecast also that the direction was not perfect, although we got a push to the downside like we expected, and then we got a massive push, not a massive, sorry, because 1,350 pips was just too small. We got a push to the upside and we're expecting market to come up to this point, but because market wanted to do its thing, market kept dropping to the downside, and the drop did not even continue, just kept consolidating. If you check 4 hours, you will see what I'm talking about. 4 hours, 1 hour, you see that Friday was just so frustrating for most traders. And if you're not really careful on Friday, you'd have lost a lot of money with this consolidation because you can easily change your bias from buy to sell, from sell to buy, and all. If Friday was very, very frustrating for you, please drop it in the comment section. Let me know your view. Let me know if you made so much loss or you took some profit. I want to see price come down to take liquidity on weekly, tap the weekly POI, and then let's get the bounce off this zone. Let's get the bounce off this zone. And if you followed our weekly forecasts and you followed this sell to the downside and you also took this buy to the upside, please drop it in the comment section. All right, let's quickly go to our table and see what I was talking about. But before we do that, let's check the day, the low high of the week formed and the low of the week formed. The high of the week formed on a Monday and the low of the week formed on a Wednesday. The high of the week formed on a Monday and the low of the week formed on a Wednesday. So the total number of pips we got, if we were to short from here to this Wednesday's low, is around here. So you can see what I was talking about, 1,350 pips. So let's quickly go to the table to update that and see how we can use that information to know what we are going to expect this coming week. So I think all right, so we have third week, we have 1,350 pips, and the high of the week formed on the high of the week formed on a Monday and the low of the week formed on a Wednesday. So we have this to be 11 and we have this to be 8. So I was saying that this is the lowest we've seen so far, because the last time we saw something this low was the fourth week in February. We had about 1,860 pips, and the following week, which was the first week in March, we had a massive push, like up to 4,000 pips. So I'm expecting something good this fourth week. And if you look at how the month has been, the first week we had about 2,600 pips, the second week 2,600 pips, then the third week we've been having a range of 1,000 to 200, 1,000 to 2,000 pips. I expect something big in the first week, because looking at the trend, we've seen that whenever we have low number of pips across the first, second, and third weeks, the fourth week is always giving us something nice. Look at January. We saw that in the first week in January we had 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, and the fourth week we had 9,000. Look at the first week in February, we had 6,000, which was the peak, and the coming weeks we had low number of pips. Yes. Then in first week in March we had 4,000, which was like good number of pips. Then 2,000, 5,000. This one was kind of mixed. And then look at April, we had 3,000, 2,000, 2,000. The fourth week, well, I've not updated this one, but the fifth week we had 2,000. So the fact that since April we've not really gotten a massive push. I'm talking about having like 4,000, 5,000 pips. I expect the last week in May should give us something tangible, something massive. So please pay attention to this weekly forecast because I'm going to be seeing a lot of things. We are going to be talking about what we are meant to focus on so that we can catch the best move. And I believe that this week is going to be something we are going to get something good. And also remember, we said in our monthly low and monthly high, we said the first week and the second week is always forming the low or the high of the month, and then the last days of the month. I mentioned this in my last forecast. I said the last days in the month always form that either the low or the high of the month. So far so good. Today is the 23rd of May. We are currently in the last days of the month, and we should expect something. We should expect something good to come up. I don't want to talk too much, so let's quickly go into the charts and see what we can do about that. I keep forgetting something. Okay, now so we've updated our table, and now we have Monday forming. We have Monday showing on this table 11 times, Tuesday showing 7 times, Wednesday showing 8 times, and then Friday 11 times. So this coming week, pay so close attention to Monday. In fact, when market is going to open, I want you to sit right in front of your laptop or your phone or your monitor. Just watch price action. Watch what price is going to do because Monday is very, very important for this coming week, and Wednesday is also very important. So these 2 days, please don't miss it. So diving straight right into the chart, we can see that the push was not enough on this particular day, and that's why market just kept dropping to the downside. So you can say I was wrong, but not completely wrong because at least I told you that market was going to drop to this weekly POI. And it was after I dropped the forecast I realized that I didn't refine this weekly POI. I should have dropped it a little bit to the liquidity here and brought it somewhere here. So this rejection block. So this would have been a perfect drop and a push, but the strength of the push was not enough for market to take this high and do what we said it was going to do. So to cut the long story short, let's quickly see what we have. And as we always do, we go into the weekly because it's going to be a new week. So let's delete all this. Let's delete all this so that we can have a fresh chart. Let's delete this quickly. So on weekly time frame, what can we see? I mentioned it, the market was going to come and tap this, that stabbed, and what else? Okay, liquidity taking, good. So on weekly, we have this POI. This is the first POI. Let me zoom in well so that you can see what I'm trying to point out. We have POIs on weekly. We have this fair value gap because when market is going to open, this is obviously going to be a gap. Then we have this rejection block. We have another POI here. We have the OB. So this yeah, let's leave it at that because there's also another POI here. Let me mark it. So we have this one to be our last POI on weekly. But always remember, breakout is our direction. Breakout is your direction. Wherever the breakout is, that is where market is leading you to. But currently on weekly, at this price action, we don't have a breakout. You can say, okay, we have a breakout here, but yeah, this is not the current breakout. We need the current breakout at this price action. So we go to the daily time frame to see if we have a recent breakout. So looking at the looking at the daily time frame, the recent breakout we have is here. So we have a recent breakout here. So daily is giving us a direction that we are going to the downside, but we can't just jump into the conclusion and say, okay, let's just look for sell all through the week. All right, so daily has given us a go ahead that we can take a sell, but let's go into 4 hours to see if 4 hours is leading us onto that. So immediately daily gave us a breakout to the downside. We had 4 hours breaking to the upside. So 4 hours is kind of negating what daily is saying, but higher time frame controls lower time frame. Yeah. So we can refine this weekly POI into this for our OB, and then we can refine this into this 4 hours rejection block. Then the last this POI, we can refine it into this place just to have something nice. Then for this one, there's a trend line liquidity here. We can just refine this into this. So gradually we are moving into what this week is giving us. All right, and immediately we got this breakout on weekly. On 4 hours, market kept pushing to the upside, and it didn't take any liquidity. Although it tapped POI, but there was no liquidity tapped. So market is leaving this zone as what? as a liquidity grab. Same thing when market kept dropping to the downside, market came here without taking any liquidity, and market is leaving this place too as what? As liquidity grab. And before market closed, we can see what? We can see a trend line liquidity here. So it means that we have trend line liquidity here. Market is looking forward to come to take this one, to take this liquidity before any action happens. So okay, since we have this on 4 hours, on 4 hours we don't have. Okay, I can say we have a recent break here. I can say we have a recent break here too on 4 hours. So let's mark this out. Let's mark this out. So follow what daily is saying. Let's mark this out to follow what daily is saying. So if I mark this out, it means that 4 hours is also giving me a go ahead with what daily is saying. So if I do all this, let's quickly check 1 hour for one more last thing. Let's check 1 hour for one last thing. I hope this is not going to be an over refinement, because I can just easily push this. Let's check 30 minutes one more time. Let's check 30 minutes. Let's see. Okay, I think this is perfect. I don't need to over refine this. So this coming week, what am I expecting? Let's go to 4 hours one more time to see clearly. Okay, so we have liquidity grab, we have liquidity on top, we have liquidity at the bottom. Market is definitely going to go for either of these two. But from what 4 hours just give us, especially with this close, I expect markets to open, come tap this POI, drop down before any action. Before any action. So if I get this, in fact, if I get this, I wouldn't be shocked if market gives me this to come and take this liquidity at the top. So please don't get it twisted, don't be confused. Since I said the breakout is to the downside, if this liquidity holds, market is going to the upside. But if this liquidity fails to hold, market will just keep going to the downside. It means that market is leaving this liquidity for later. Do you understand? So we just expect market to come tap this POI for this sell to happen. Market comes to grab this liquidity, push up. But if market fails to hold above this, if market fails to hold with this liquidity, just keep expecting market to go to the downside. So if you are going to be in a sell this coming week from this position, please, you can take partials the moment market starts taking this liquidity and hold at BE, especially if you see a reaction. Excuse me. If you get a reaction from this zone, please set your break even your trade so that you're not going to be losing on this trade. And if you don't get a reaction, you're just going to benefit all the way down, because market is going to come. Excuse me. Market is going to come down, and from there we will see what price is doing before we can now decide what next to do. So where should I keep my arrow? Should I keep it down or up? Because this is going to be okay, I'll just keep it. Let me just keep it. Yeah. Let me keep it here. But remember, markets can reject all the way back from here to seek this liquidity. So that's basically all I have to share with you guys for this week. And also don't forget, I marked another POI here. This is another POI. Market can decide to leave this POI, come for this POI before dropping. So be vigilant. Monday is very important. Expect Monday to give you this move for sale or this move for sale. If Monday gives you that, take it. But if you don't see anything happening on Monday, let's say market drops on Monday and you see market reacting from here, Tuesday or Wednesday is going to definitely be your trade to take this to the upside, to come and take this liquidity. So just trade with care. Do not risk what you cannot afford to lose, and never add to a losing position, because if you add to a losing position, you are definitely going to lose more. Yeah. So that's all I have to share with you guys. And please, if you have any comments, please, if you have any bias, please drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like also, because the algorithm needs to push this video to lots of people out there. So that'll be all, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast.